While we are impatiently waiting for Deadmatter's closed alpha release, I'd like to keep us involved with the aspects of the game that the devs are working on to make it a super immersive depiction of a zombie apocalypse. So let's start with Part 2 of Deadmatter realistic gameplay features.
Player 2 has entered the game.
Hello survivors, Player 2 here, and in this edition of realistic gameplay features, we'll be focusing heavily on newer realism features that the devs have hinted at, with a mix of some old. And if you want to keep up with all the new Deadmatter info as well as features you need to be aware of before you play the game to get ahead, consider subscribing to do just that and by proxy help a small channel grow. Thanks in advance. Oh, and I wanted to quickly mention that I've started a new channel to help others grow their gaming channels using the methods that I have to grow to over 3,000 subscribers in less than a year. If you're intrigued, the channel's link is in the description below. I'll be uploading the first video shortly. So I want to start off with one of my favorite realistic gameplay features that Deadmatter has, prior occupations. You'll actually start the game by spawning in what you were wearing prior to the outbreak, according to your occupation. Firefighters will begin in their applicable garb, same goes for a mechanic or a police officer. They really need to include Mounties. Another awesome realistic gameplay feature, which isn't super exclusive to Deadmatter, is going to be that there's no mini-map or map from menu to utilize to make navigation too easy for players. There'll be maps that you can find and add to your tool belt. Besides having a map that you can find, you'll also be able to take advantage of street signs, markings, and even satellites as a means of navigation through post-apocalyptic Alberta. The satellites will all face south as they do in real life, so if you're ever in need of knowing your direction and see one, you'll always be able to at least identify your cardinal direction. And back to the tool belt, which for those of you who don't know is a key item inventory that holds all the game's made items for you. Luckily they haven't went too hardcore and you won't lose these items upon death. It'll consist of items such as a key ring that holds keys including but not limited to locked doors, car trunks, car ignitions, your basis key, and so much more. There's also a wallet which can hold key cards to enter high-tier loot locations such as the police station's armory. There's also a slot for the radio, lighter, binoculars, map, compass, and GPS, which I would imagine all of these have either quest lines to find them or are in specific locations. Furthermore, when it comes to navigation, when you find yourself in urban environments like within the city limits of Canmore in particular, you can use street signs made available to us by the dev Nahito that will basically provide you with a direction to major locations within the town. Another cool addition that was added in the recent devlog is you can make noticeable noise when rummaging through containers that other players as well as zombies can hear, leaving us with yet another fear factor when doing something as simple as just finding loot. There will also be different tiers of variety of base barricades, but the first tier, which is throwing newspapers on the windows to block players and zombies' vision, is something that I've never personally seen in a zombie game before. In fact, Deadmatter dev team takes it a step further, stating that if you have lights on in your base, with just the curtains closed over the windows, your silhouette can actually be seen, so applying some water and glue to a window, then throwing some newspaper on it, will counteract this effect, which is actually an awesome feature in the art of realism. The light bars from police vehicles are able to be activated, and for that I can actually see myself trying to pull over another player, only to hold them up for any goods that I may be in need of. Some items will be able to stack in your inventory. In fact, I discussed in the last Deadmatter realistic gameplay features that you can also collapse weapon stocks to take up less room in your inventory. But with the new devlog, we found out that you can also store items within items, such as pots and pans. Another feature that's small but important from the recent devlog is that backpacks will now move around and wiggle in much more realistic ways based off of your character's movements. And for the next one, I'm sure I've hinted at it in previous videos, but zombies will break apart from the main horde to attack multiple targets, so if you thought splitting up was a good idea, think again. And on top of that, instead of typical zombie hordes whom chase right after you in an almost motion line, the Zeds in Deadmatter will try to surround you, which can be severely more intense, especially if you add in already being injured. And the new addition that Gunslinger has added to hunting is exceptional. You'll now be able to skin and gut, harvesting not only their pelt, but meat and even antlers to use for tools, I would imagine. So the next realistic gameplay feature has to be one of the best things they've added recently. They've overhauled base claiming. Up until the last vlog's release, the word on base claiming was that no commercial buildings could be claimed and it would really only be for houses, but the lead dev stated himself that after community feedback, which is great to hear, they've redone base claiming to the point where you will now be able to claim almost all of the buildings within Deadmatter, and I gotta tell you, being a big base building fiend in survival games that I play, this is a massive bonus. And who thinks gunplay goes hand in hand with realism? Let me know in the poll on your screen now. If you say yes like I do, then Deadmatter will take good care of you. The weapons have a good amount of inertia so your gun won't feel weightless to where you ADS at ungodly speeds, and just for the casual gamers out there, ADS is aim down sights. And speaking of ADS, Nick also stated that they've upgraded to make it procedural, which gives the devs the leeway to add awesome features like reloading, checking your magazine capacity, switching between scope and your iron sights views, and switching between firing modes, all while ADS, which is awesome. And on top of that, for the weapons that support it, you'll be able to load in different types of ammo, including flare rounds, which can be utilized to catch Zeds on fire or to lure them to a specific location or out of the way, which is great. While still on the topic of guns, much work has been done to the way weapon firing sounds from different locations within the world. When indoors, or if you hear a gunshot in the distance, they have stated that they feel much more comfortable with it sounding the way it should now. And are there any realistic features the Deadmatter team should add to this game? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you need more, check out the previous realistic gameplay features or another one of my many videos on Deadmatter coming up right now.